So Kaine is Ethan and Callan's elder brother. There, but for the grace of God go I, you were born healthy,
yeah,
whereas your twin brothers weren't. Kaine, how many years between you and the boys?
There's 2 or 3.
Right, okay.
Yeah, between 2 or 3 years.
I've got to ask you first off, I mean, like I said, there, but for the grace of God go I, you were born healthy. The boys have got tuberous sclerosis.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it? I mean, just as an open question, how do you feel about it? It must be very difficult for you.
It's difficult to cope with every day. Like, I've never felt a normal life to people who haven't got disabled brothers and sisters, but it's just normal for me because I've grown up with it for 14, 15 years now. It's just normal. Like, when either of them have a fit, while other people would panic and think, oh my gosh, what's happening? It's just so simple for me to sort of do what you're supposed to do. It's just comfort them and just sort of bring them out of it.
Yeah. I think I mentioned to your mum when we did the radio interview that I'd only ever seen a person have an epileptic fit once,
yeah.
And it was probably one of the scariest things I ever saw because I wasn't used to it. Because you kind of got used to it, but it must be difficult because they're your own flesh and blood, aren't they?
Yeah, I was roughly around 3 when I first witnessed my brothers having a fit, and ever since then it's just felt normal. Like, when they do have fits, as I said before, it's normal for me because that's all I've ever known really. Like, I've never had any normal brothers or sisters, so it's just normal.
Do you sometimes feel, I don't know, left out insofar as, you know, because they obviously command, by their very definition,
yeah.
they command a lot of attention all the time, don't they?
Yeah, Ethan's one of them people who will just sit in the living room on his own and play on his Xbox. Callan always needs attention, and it does sometimes take a toll on me because sometimes I'm just left out. If Dad's at work and it's just Mum's constantly with Callan, and it's left between me and Ethan to sort of do what we want and sort of fend for ourselves, really.
Mm.
Yeah.
What about when you're out and about? I mean, both the boys are very aware that, you know, people take the mickey out of them, they
yeah.
call them names. It's quite unbelievable the way some people are towards people who obviously have illnesses. And
yeah.
How do you feel when you're out and about and your brothers are being shouted upon and things?
It annoys me that people say stuff about people with disabilities even though they don't know them.
Mm.
Like, if they were with a one-to-one sort of disabled person, they would be getting used to what happens, why, and that it affects the person with the disability, but not only the person with the disability, the people who live with them, that they're being called names. And it's hard to think that they can't do anything and it's left down to the mums and dads to say something and sort of stick up for them because they don't understand that that's a bad word, or they don't understand what they're being called.
Mm. This gives us a break campaign that we're doing with Cash for Kids and CFM. Obviously, we're going to raise 100 grand. You say, oh, we're going to do it. Don't
yeah.
worry about that. We're going to do it. For families like yourselves and lots of other families, of course, across the area. A respite centre. So, what would it mean to people like your mum and dad and yourself?
We get barely any respite time for the twins at the Elms anyways, which is 1 sleepover a month, which it's when they want to give the twins a sleepover. It's not when we want to. Like, we could have nothing to do that night, or it would be left to us to find something to do. And just a respite centre which is open 7 days a week, it would give so much spare time to the families of the disabled kids. It would just be a lot better.
I mean, people are just probably thinking, if they don't understand fully, which an awful lot of people don't, of course, is, I mean, I've got 2 young children who, thank goodness, thank God, are both very healthy,
yeah.
but they're so demanding as just normal children. When you've got 2 boys like the twins, like Callan and Ethan, you've got to have, because you can never take your foot off the gas, can you? You've always got to concentrate. Where are they? What are they doing? Well, there's always something going on.
Yeah, because with Callan, when he's having a fit, he can sort of signal you, he tells you, he'll shout. But with Ethan, even though he doesn't have as many fits, they're not as violent as him, as Callan's, they do sort of creep up on him, like they'll happen with no warning whatsoever. Like he'll be sitting having his dinner and his head will just drop, and you can just never tell when he's going to have a fit, and that's the dangerous thing about it, because when Ethan was having one of his fits, he fell off one of the chairs and broke his collarbone, just to the fact that none of us had any warning that it was coming, and that's the reason that Callan had his brain surgery, because it sort of gave an extra bit of time for him to sit down or tell one of us that he was going to have one. And yeah.
You seem to, I mean, for a fairly young guy yourself, you seem to handle it really, really well. Is there times when it does almost become too much for you?
When one of them has a prolonged seizure, it's always, you have to give them midazolam, which is sort of, it makes them drunk. It sort of brings them out of the fit. But it's weird. It's a weird feeling having to think, oh gosh, it's been 10 minutes of them having a seizure, I'm gonna have to give them the medicine. But as I've said, it's just normal now. After 14 years.
When you say the medicine, if someone's having, have you literally got to administer some medicine?
It's 1 ml, half a ml in each side of the cheek, and when they've got it in the cheeks you have to rub it, because they haven't got any control of swallowing or anything, so you sort of just have to ease it back to the back of the throat and sort of let it go down itself, which can usually take a couple of minutes. But if they carry on after that, it's usually an ambulance that we have to call.
You say you've got used to it, and you obviously, you know, it's amazing what you've done already. Is there a bit of time when you've got seriously worried and you thought, oh my God, this is not ending?
When Ethan, surprisingly, was the first one that we actually discovered had tuberous sclerosis, and Callan a couple of months later, and now Callan has more of the violent ones and more of the prolonged ones. But there was one a couple of weeks ago where Ethan had a 15-minute one, which shocked all of us. Like, we thought that we were actually going to lose him because he wasn't breathing, he was slavering out of his mouth. We had to put him in the recovery position. We had both of the nurses who lived just down the road rush up in the dressing gowns to come and see if he was okay. It just shocks us massively because we didn't expect it from Ethan at all.
Okay, is there anything you'd like to say for people watching this video? This is on our website, cfmradio.com, it's on Facebook as well. Once again, if you'd like to donate money, that's what we want, please to give us a break, and the details of how you can do that will come up on the screen again shortly. Kaine, anything you'd like to say for people listening to this, watching this at the moment? Why do you think people would want to give money to this company?
Because it's not just for people who've got disabilities, it's for like the younger people as well. It's not just for the disabilities. It'll help a lot of people, not just the people with, not just the families with disabled kids. Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.